At 88 years old, Robert Redford left the world stunned when he opened up with a deeply personal confession, one that revealed his private truths, especially about his lifelong bond with Jane Fonda. Robert Redford entered the world as Charles Robert Redford Jr. on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California. He wasn't born into Hollywood royalty, far from it. Growing up in a working-class family, he learned early lessons in resilience. When his mother died at just 18, the loss reshaped his perspective on life and gave him the empathy and determination that later defined both his work on screen and his activism off it. His early path was anything but steady. Redford won a baseball scholarship to the University of Colorado, but after losing it due to poor grades and drinking, he felt lost. Searching for meaning, he traveled across Europe, immersing himself in culture and art. It was there that his creative side awoke. That passion led him back to New York City, where he studied painting and enrolled at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. His natural presence and striking looks quickly drew attention, and by the late 1950s, he was appearing on television and Broadway, laying the foundation for what would become one of Hollywood's greatest careers. The 1960s launched Redford into stardom. His charm and charisma shone in Barefoot in the Park, 1967. But it was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969, that made him a household name. Playing opposite Paul Newman, Redford embodied the American leading man, witty, rebellious, magnetic, and unforgettable. The 1970s only solidified his status. In Jeremiah Johnson, 1972, The Candidate, 1972, and The Way We Were, 1973, he showed his ability to balance big box office hits with deeply emotional stories. Then came The Sting, 1973, once again alongside Newman, which won multiple Academy Awards and became one of the most iconic films of the decade. But Redford wasn't content with safe commercial roles. In All the President's Men, 1976, he played journalist Bob Woodward, bringing the Watergate scandal to the big screen. That performance underscored not only his talent, but also his lifelong passion for politics, justice, and truth. Redford's artistry stretched beyond acting. His directorial debut, Ordinary People, in 1980, was a revelation. Sensitive, layered, and deeply human, it won him the Academy Award for Best Director. He went on to direct and produce acclaimed films like A River Runs Through It, 1992, Quiz Show, 1994, and The Horse Whisperer, 1998. Each proved his gift for storytelling and his respect for the complexity of the human condition. Redford's legacy isn't just his filmography. In 1978, he founded the Sundance Institute, which grew into the Sundance Film Festival, the world's premier stage for independent cinema. Through Sundance, countless filmmakers found their voices and careers, forever changing the landscape of modern film. He also became one of Hollywood's most passionate environmental advocates. For decades, Redford championed conservation, sustainability, and climate awareness. His activism made him more than just a movie star. It made him a global voice for change. Redford's personal journey was shaped by two important marriages. His first, to historian and activist Lola Van Wagenen, began in 1958. Together, they had 4 children: Scott, Shauna, David, and Amy. Heartbreak struck early when their first child, Scott, died in infancy. That loss left a mark that never faded. Their marriage endured nearly 3 decades before ending in 1985, a union marked by both partnership and struggle, as Redford's fame soared. Years later, he found love again with Sibylle Sagers, a German-born multimedia artist known for blending painting, performance, and environmental themes. After years together, they married in 2009 in Hamburg, Germany. With her, Redford found balance, companionship, and a shared passion for art and activism that carried him into his later years. Before his death, Redford surprised the world with one of his most candid interviews, where he revealed the truth about his lifelong connection with Jane Fonda. Their partnership began with Barefoot in the Park, 1967. Reflecting on that time, Redford admitted, I was nervous about working with Jane. She had an energy that could light up a room, and I wasn't sure I could keep up. For a man often seen as the epitome of cool confidence, it was a rare admission of vulnerability and deep admiration. They reunited multiple times. I'm in The Chase, 1966, The Electric Horseman, 1979, and finally Our Souls at Night, 2017. About their last collaboration, Redford explained, "I wanted our final project to be about love, about aging, and about the beauty of companionship. I knew it would probably be the last time we worked together, and I wanted it to matter. But the most surprising truth wasn't about their films. It was about his feelings." Redford revealed, "I've loved Jane in my own way all these years. It wasn't romantic love in the traditional sense, but a soulful bond that never faded. She inspired me, challenged me, and sometimes even scared me with her strength." He also shared how both carried heavy burdens behind the scenes. Jane bore the weight of being Henry Fonda's daughter, trying to carve out her own identity. "I was grieving the loss of my son, navigating fame, and struggling to protect my privacy. When we worked together, somehow, those burdens felt lighter." Perhaps his most touching words were, "Jane was more than a co-star, she was a mirror, showing me parts of myself I didn't always want to see, but needed to. Without her, my career and my life would not have been the same." On September 16, 2025, Robert Redford passed away peacefully in his sleep at his beloved home in Sundance, Utah. He was 89 years old. Surrounded by the mountains he cherished, he left this world in the very place where he had built the Sundance Institute, turning it into a sanctuary for independent voices and creativity. The news shook Hollywood and beyond. Tributes poured in from actors, directors, political leaders, and environmental activists. Fans remembered him not just as an actor or director, but as a man who embodied fairness, integrity, and freedom. Among the most moving tributes came from Jane Fonda herself. Writing about her longtime friend and co-star, she said, "He meant a lot to me and was a beautiful person in every way. He stood for an America that we have to keep fighting for." Her words captured not only the personal connection they shared, but also the values Robert Redford represented. His passing marked the end of an era, but his legacy lives on. In his films, in the artists he championed, and in the causes he defended with courage,